Okay.
No more bringing up murderers on the podcast.
So for those that don't know, this is the Heavyset Podcast, the second attempt.
Oh, you're recording?
Yeah, we're going live again, so watch what we say. Apparently, we got on the topic of murder, and realizing that we were saying things that we know we can't put out there, then I was like, wait a minute, I can't use this. I can't put this out.
This is a family-friendly program. No more decapitations on the podcast.
So, anyway, hey, I'm back here. We're back here with our friend Philly Pie, my brother old J-Bug, and welcome to the Heavyset Podcast once more.
And the Woody Witter.
Let's go.
We are so unprofessional.
Well, changing the subject. Back to when we were kids and going to church. Not talking about murder. Anyways, Chris, do you remember when you were a kid and you used to do an impression of an old Southern preacher?
Not the Southern preacher. No.
And you would do this for our pastor.
For those of you who know, I just did this in the previous recordings.
But it's so funny.
I don't
it
think
has
it's
to
that
be done.
It's pretty good.
Just to be clear, my church pastor had me do this for him. I'm not trying to make fun or poke fun of anybody, even though I kind of am.
Then you get in front of the congregation and do this.
And they say that if you follow Jesus, that you will live. I can't do it.
Y'all keep going.
That you will live eternal life in heaven.
Good.
I'm done. No more. I'm retiring that impression.
Chris, get up and testify.
I was eating Frito chili pie last week, and I had a thought to myself. I don't know. Oh, goodness. I hope I don't get in trouble for that.
Yeah.
So anyway, we have talked about murder, but we're not going to talk about murder anymore.
No more murder.
No more murder.
Unless it's murder, she wrote.
Ooh, murder.
She wrote.
There we go. So listen, boys. This is the most unprepared we have ever been for anything. We usually have somewhat of an idea of what we're going to do. Not today. We literally are just sat down and said, hey, let's talk about the first thing that comes to our mind. And in the previous section, for whatever reason, it was murder.
That's why y'all need Ryan here.
Ryan keeps us all in line. Ryan has an outline. He has notes. He's very prepared. Me and Chris, normally, it's, hey, we're going to talk about this, this, and this. No real structure, but we know basically what we're going to talk about. Today, we were like, hey, let's talk about this one thing. Well, I don't know how much meat on the bones for that. What else are we going to talk about?
Y'all are kind of like the water boy after the coach loses his green notebook. Y'all are him, and Ryan's before he loses his green notebook. He has everything to a T.
We're Henry Winkler.
And I like Henry Winkler.
Henry Winkler,
So,
covered in bees. Know that movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Little Nicky.
Yeah.
Sorry, Henry.
So what have you guys been up to? Got anything going on? Anything in particular?
I just bought a new fan from Milwaukee to keep this heat off of me.
You got a new fan for you? What?
I bought a new fan because it's so hot outside. Like I bought like a job site fan.
I think it's a fan from Milwaukee.
Well, Milwaukee's the brand.
Milwaukee fan.
I like their
You like
tools.
the Bucks?
No. Well, Sarah does.
Anyways.
Nothing wrong with the Milwaukee Bucks.
Is it nice?
Yeah. My truck broke down today, and thank goodness I had it. I opened the hood to my truck, and I just sat there and let it blow on me, looking like I knew what I was doing until somebody drove by and was like, hey.
You're like me. I mean, I don't have any knowledge of anything like that. I'm like, I'll get on YouTube, try to see if I can figure it out. But I'm like you. I act like I know. I'm like, oh yeah, I think the flux capacitor is going out of my car. Like,
well, I know a little bit about a lot, but like when it comes to vehicle stuff, I didn't. And unfortunately, YouTube wasn't working, so I couldn't figure out how to work on it. But I could get Google Images up, and I was like just piecing it together until a coworker came and bailed me out.
Thank God for that coworker.
Mm-hmm. Their coworkers like, man, this guy, he don't know crap. It's funny you mentioned that. Right before I came over here, I have a riding lawnmower that I've been working on, trying to get it running. Mm-hmm. And today when I got home, I finished part of it, and I finished it up, and I was like, me, Hannah, and Elijah were outside. I'm like, you guys ready? I was getting ready to crank it up. I cranked it, and it started up. I would go, yeah!
Like National Lampoon's Christmas.
It's like confetti should have been like falling from the sky.
On Christmas Vacation, when he plugs in those lights, he gets everybody out to watch him.
Yeah.
Is that what it was like?
Pretty much what it was like. You guys ready? It's going to be spectacular.
Well, Justy Bug, you're looking at him like you're about to make a statement.
What? I wonder what you're wanting to ask me.
You turned to me like you're about to make a point. I thought you got any? Don't you have a new rant you want to go on?
Okay, Chris. Was this like a new segment? Justin rant.
I will say this: I'm hunting. I'm paying attention. I'm looking for something right now. But one of the funniest things that I found it. One of the funniest things that I ever recorded was you going on a rant that we could never use.
What was I going on a rant about?
Want me to bring it up?
Murder.
It was moving.
No, I don't remember what I was going on a rant about.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny. One of the funniest things I probably ever recorded. But
I think when people see me get like irritated and upset, they're first of all caught off guard, because most of the time I'm pretty calm with people.
Laid back.
And
we all are.
But this is my issue, Chris. I can't stand people that don't have spatial awareness. Now, when I'm saying this, I'm talking about you're in Walmart, and you're walking behind somebody, and they turn their buggy where you can't get through, and then they're just standing there, just staring, just can't decide what they want. They know that you're there waiting. They know that you're trying to get through, mm-hmm. but they just don't care. This is a big problem that we have here in town. Is I'm headed home and I'm going down one of these side streets, and there's two vehicles side by side, and they're yucking it up.
Yeah.
And they will sit there and finish the conversation before they let me go through and go home. They're blocking the freaking road. Like people that park in like 2 parking spots.
Those type of people.
Yeah, just like don't care about what I gotta do. Don't care about the next guy in line. Like, I'm gonna park wherever I want. I'm gonna take up as much space as possible. I don't care what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that feels this way?
No,
I think everybody does. I mean, everybody. It's
an epidemic, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, we're all selfish people in general. Everybody is, but sometimes you gotta you gotta look out for other people. Well, don't take up 2 parking spots.
Something like that, actually, along the same lines, is when somebody they park at a gas station and they park at the pumps, and then they go in and get watered and come back out and don't even get gas. And I'm sitting there waiting on them like, I could have been done pumping by the time you got to, go park in a regular parking spot.
I've been crappy like this one time, sometimes here in town. I mean, if it's late at night and I don't see anybody there, if I've got to go in the Easy Mart or whatever, I'll park at the gas pump. Not even getting gas. I'll just run in really quick and get something. But
and it's like, I went to Walmart the other day, and somebody in like this gigantic truck had parked in front of the doors, got out and went into Walmart and left their truck just sitting there. Mm-hmm. Like, you couldn't even go into a parking spot.
Yeah.
I'm going to park right in the way. Like, where the crosswalk is, where you got to, stop for people.
Yeah.
That's where they were parked.
There is a level of kind of respect I have for those people who just don't give an F. Like, because I just see that I'm like, I wonder what it would be like to live life that way.
It's different than spatial awareness, but just thinking about parking lot stuff. People who don't return their buggies to like a stall at Walmart in the parking lot aggravates me so much.
I actually glad you brought that up because I take pride in putting my buggy back. Every time, put it back in the rack. Because I hate it when I see people not do it either. So I'm like, man, just put the effing thing back in the
being
car.
really quiet over there.
I put my buggy wherever I want.
I got 12 at the house.
The world's my buggy holder.
Said the world's your buggy hole?
Holder.
Holder. The world's my buggy. I don't like, talking about spatial awareness. What about people who are close talkers?
What?
What about people who are close talkers?
Thing is, I don't really like that either, but like where I work is loud. So you have to get
if you're a close
right up on somebody.
If you're a close talker, talk to me in my ear. I mean, just hit me in my earlobe.
Don't touch noses tip to tip.
Yeah, I don't want to be like it. And it's not. And the people are different. Everybody's different. And I get it. People are probably not trying to be a close talker or trying to make you uncomfortable or invade your space. But you encounter those people in life, and it's always jarring to me. Like, how can you be this close to somebody and it be and you feel comfortable having a conversation? I need a little bit of distance, just a little bit of distance.
I know a way to get them to stop talking so close.
Yeah,
Lick them.
Hey, buddy.
Guarantee they won't do it again.
Yeah, that's true. Kiss them.
What I don't like is people standing, like if I'm working at my desk, like just filling out paperwork, somebody standing behind me, like I can feel their presence.
Oh man, that is.
And especially they touch my shoulder, like I want to hit you. And I don't know why that bothers me so much.
You're talking about people like hovering?
Yeah, just hovering, like I'm sitting there doing work. What I'm doing on my computer does not involve you. Go away.
I just want to see what you're looking at. I want to see if you're looking at any pornography on there.
I promise you it's not that. I'm on company VPN.
Oh, what is this? Backdoor Hussies 89 Volume 8? I mean, no disrespect if you're a close talker, but that's just not for me. I avoid that like the plague.
I think people that are close talkers don't really realize they're close talkers.
Probably not. And think about all the things about yourself that you don't realize that you do, that you just and then you discover one day.
Well, tell me something about Justin right now that he doesn't know about himself.
Something that you don't know about yourself.
I'm perfect, so I doubt you can.
This mother effer doesn't put his cart back. I know that. I think it's something about Justy Bug that Justy Bug doesn't know.
I'm trying to think of one too.
I'm trying to think of one. Justy Bug can be whimsical from time to time.
Whimsical?
I mean, what does whimsical even mean?
I don't know.
I don't even know what whimsical means.
I'm going through life thinking it's a fairy tale.
I kind of do that. What's something about me?
Your life is a fairy tale.
Something about you?
Yeah.
I think everything about you, I've probably already told you.
There's a kind of a quote from Seinfeld where Kramer goes to a fantasy camp and George is like having a cow. He's like, Kramer going to a fantasy camp. People should put down $500 to live like him for a week. That's a fantasy camp. Sometimes I feel that way about you.
My life isn't.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You always for years I've talked about my life being this weird. I mean, odd things do happen in my life, but my life is not full of all these crazy wild shenanigans like you think it is.
Now, how come every time I talk to you, you've done some sort of weird, crazy shenanigan?
I was doing funny, goofy stuff. Who doesn't want to live life and go go have fun. Go just be weird.
Yeah.
Go do some weird stuff. I mean, me and Philly Pie one night, and our friend, I guess Thad don't care if we talk about this. He shouldn't. But the blood moon, if you recall.
Yeah.
We all got a bunch of golf balls.
Oh, yeah.
And we hit them off.
Fun.
We hit them off the dam. Now, just so everybody knows, they were glow in the dark golf balls, and we did go pick them back up.
Yeah.
But
we weren't strong enough to hit them to the water.
I don't think you guys really picked them back up. You hit them off the dam and went down there and picked them up.
well,
First of all, do you think we have the money to buy glow in the dark golf balls?
Yeah, I'm full of it. We did.
You remember when the dam stopped up?
What's of these 80,000 golf balls?
Bunch of dead fish with golf balls in their gut.
Talk about a hole in one.
But stuff like that is the way I like to live life. Even as an Welch, I'm not going to go out, now and be hitting golf balls off the dam. But, I don't know. It's the little things in life that move me, that keep me going, that drive me. Little situations like that, that's the stuff I live for.
Yeah, that was just on the whim, too. We just decided to go out there.
Exactly. I live life on a whim. Don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. Don't know what I'm going to do tonight. I don't know. It just happens.
Made me think of the night that we got Philip the luge down Murray Hill on a skateboard.
Right, that can turn
Yeah.
out.
I don't think it was too bad, was it? I can't remember. I might have got concussed. I can't remember.
I don't think you ever made it down the hill. I think you would go like
Yeah, I didn't get very far.
10, 15 feet and it would
Yeah.
wipe out.
I can always tell you, of course, I'm the little brother. I'm 6 years younger than you guys, so I would tag along whenever I could with you two. But I just remember riding with Philip a lot, and you and Philip, and we were always wind up in some almost horrific accident while he was driving.
Philip's a great driver.
Do you remember leaving? We went camping at Shady Lake.
Yeah.
There's no sleep. I'm just this little kid back there, and I don't know what exactly had happened. You had hit something.
Do you remember?
I don't remember.
You fishtailed it.
Because we were young, and I thought I had a powerful truck at the time, so I tried to gun it and fishtail around the corner. But they just graded that road, so it was all kind of loose gravel.
Oh, yeah.
My tail end slammed into the bank. Right.
I remember that now.
Yeah.
I remember. I don't know if you want me to bring it up, driving stories of you.
I don't care.
I remember when Keiki lived in that trailer park.
Yeah.
And we stopped and dropped off a bag of trash in the dumpster.
Okay.
And there was a little metal sign. It's probably just that tall.
Yeah.
And it said no public dumping or something like that. It was for his trailer park, but Philip, I think you were backing up and you hit it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you hit that little sign. And you go, it just kept back up.
I got another good one of mine. This one, I think the time has passed where I can get in trouble for it. But I was leaving somebody's house one time. Sorry.
You did.
And they lived right past some 90-degree S curves. There was 3 of them. I mean, sharp 90s. While I was leaving their house, it was 2 a.m. And on both sides of this road, dirt road, there was barbed wire fence keeping cows in. Well, I was going way too fast down this, and I hit to that 90. I didn't have enough time to brake, and so I had to straighten it out, and I drove right through that barbed wire fence. And I was so scared that I was young. I was so scared that if I drove back out the way I came in, the fence would have been sticking up that way, and I would have just jammed my truck in it. So I'd made another hole through the fence and left it. So there's 2 big holes in this barbed wire fence that cows just got out of. I didn't tell anybody, but the guy that was with me, he was laughing, and it was a party. And the woman who held the party, she sent a group text "Hey, who did this?" And I swore this dude to secrecy. And then everybody suspected me anyway. And I finally confessed 2 years later. This was a long, long time ago.
Sounds like you have a reputation if everybody suspected you.
Yeah.
The funny part is that you were so afraid to go back, so you just make another hole.
Yeah.
You just make another hole in the fence.
I didn't want to drive through and hit like a T-post and just like impale my engine. Then everybody would have known it was me. So I just made another.
I'd put that in a comedy movie if I was ever making one.
Yeah, I wasn't the best driver. I probably still ain't.
That reminds me of,
Terrible
I don't know,
English.
which I'm not, I'm a terrible driver. This isn't me a driving story, but I remember we were at a party one night years ago, and this girl we know was backing her car up and fixing to leave. Well, she backs it up and she goes into a ditch. And I was like, oh my gosh. So me and a buddy of mine, went back there to push her out. Well, her car wasn't damaged from the ditch. But as I was like trying to push her out, I just dented in her whole back thing like pretty bad. I was like, oh my gosh. I looked at him. I was like, hey, if she asked this, she did this from the ditch. I was like, she never did this from herself. And she pulls out, she gets, and we get her out of there. She looks, and she's like, oh my gosh, like, I cannot believe it erupted up that bad. I was like, yeah, you know. I was like, what are you going to do? It's bad stuff.
It's a shame.
Never told her, never confessed, still haven't confessed. I'll probably never see her again, but I'm a bad person.
Yeah, you are.
I remember when I was little, real little. This is in Umpire when we lived in Umpire. You know how we lived right next to the store, the one store?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to ride my bike around all over the place. Well, I was this is after the store was closed for the day. I was just riding around in the parking lot around the gas pumps or whatever. And they had a glass front door. And I thought to myself, I would like to ride my bike into that glass door. So I rode my bike into the glass door and it shattered.
Really? You never told me this.
I didn't tell anybody. I never told anybody. The next day, it was like boarded up. And I remember them like asking mom and dad if they had seen anybody like messing around. Because we lived right next to the store. They're like, no, we never saw anybody.
Well, it wouldn't be any of our boys. Our boys would never break
boys
glass
are
windows.
I bet it was Chris.
Mom and dad might know now, but I told like my wife like a couple years ago about that. I had never told anybody.
It's been weighing on your shoulders this whole time. I gotta get this off my back.
I bet you were laying in bed that night after you broke that, just a nervous wreck.
I was like sick to my stomach, like, oh my gosh, they're gonna like throw me in jail. This is it. My goose is cooked.
I've broken many of things in my day.
I know. Lots of my stuff.
I haven't broken much of yours.
I just remember when you were little, probably like 3, you would just take off running through the bedroom where we were playing video games and just run straight through the controller cords and just rip our Sega Genesis like out from the wall.
I do remember doing that.
And broke it.
Did I break the Sega?
Yeah, you broke it because you came through like a terror. And then you just run out.
I was a mischievous little kid. Good times. Ryan actually brought that up to me the other day. Probably why you guys hated me.
It weighs heavy on us.
So, boys, we're talking about a little bit of childhood stories. Philly Pie driving through a fence. Driving through another end of the fence.
Yeah.
Driving over a sign.
Driving over a sign.
I had a lot of wrecks.
So now what? Where do we go from here? What do y'all want to discuss?
Your fingernails.
Oh, God.
Why are they purple?
Yeah. I didn't want to bring it up. I wanted to wait till the podcast started before I said anything.
Listen, it's not what you think.
Enjoy too many Grimace shakes, huh?
Yeah, they are purple. I don't even know how to explain the story to you. It's not a great story or nothing like
Start
that.
from the beginning.
It was 12:01 a.m.
I was way asleep.
Not a mouse was in sight. No. I don't even know how to explain this to you. Which I didn't realize after I let this person paint them on was that it doesn't come off with soap and water that well. So I need to figure this out. So I've been kind of trying to scrape them off the best I can. But listen, when a cute chick, a few Kool-Aids deep, when a cute chick wants to paint your fingernails, you're just going to let her paint your fingernails. Ladies and gentlemen, this is also called being in the friend zone. That's all you boys need to know. May not have been the best decision I've ever made in my life, but hey, we're here, we're living. I got purple nails for the moment. I'm not going to go out in public until I get this taken care of. And we're riding.
Well, now it's going to be on the internet, so the whole world's going to see it.
Well, they can't really tell.
I'll tell you one, a bad one. I let a girl paint my fingernails one time.
Oh, thank God I'm not alone on this.
No, mine's worse.
Okay, thank God. Yeah,
Anyway,
I don't feel, tell me. So I don't
she
feel
painted
bad.
my fingernails, and then my buddy hooked up with her.
Oh, man. It's sad. It's funny, though. I think everybody's been there.
Nice fingernails, chump.
That was fantastic, Scam. You go fetch me a Gatorade and you're done.
That was in Fayetteville. Speaking of Fayetteville, Ryan Mallett.
Oh, good segue. Well, you know what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, I was just thinking that I was trying to think of where that was. Like, man, and we drove up there we drove all the way from here for them two girls.
Wait, there was two girls?
Yeah.
Did your buddy get both of them?
I want to say this without sounding mean. How do I say it?
The other one?
He got the good one. And it's not so much that I got the bad one, but I distracted the bad one because I was the grenade. I caught the grenade.
Phillip was hanging out with the middle linebacker.
No.
I'll just mess
He wasn't that small.
People are really going to hate this.
Well, God bless you, whoever you are out there.
Hey, man, they make them all shapes and sizes. We're big. Girls can be big, too. It's 2023, Justy.
Yeah, who we to jump my? Who am I, or who are we to jump on our high horse?
I'm not the one saying I'm jumping on the grenade.
Neither one. Just to clarify, hey, I'm the guy who's getting his nails painted here. That is the great. I would also put that in a movie. you can't get nails painted and your friend hooks up with it.
This happens right after
I'm over there getting my fingernails painted. He's getting hydrated for what's about to come next.
I just opened the door. Come on, Phillip. Come on here and sit with me. We'll talk about what else.
he gets sad and drives through a fence.
Yeah. You got to take it out on somebody.
We got to push him out and dent in his whole truck. Oh, my gosh. You must have done this when you crashed into this fence like a damn maniac.
So glad those days are behind me.
But anyway, you brought up Ryan Mallett.
Terribly.
For those who don't know, if you're not from Arkansas, we live in southwest Arkansas, where if you can't tell by the little hog helmet down here, we're huge Razorback fans. When you're Arkansas, you kind of have to be. But And Ryan Mallett, the old quarterback we used to have, just tragically passed away in Florida. The drowning incident. So that got me thinking of, like, who are the greatest quarterbacks of all time for Arkansas? What's a top 5, possibly? Do you have a top 5?
I think I've got a top 5, but when I say I've got a top 5, I don't know the quarterback from 1972.
Yeah, this is our era of top 5. Like, I'm sure Joe Ferguson could be number 1, but I wasn't alive when Joe Ferguson was slinging the football around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we talking about, like, just who we like the most, or do we think was the
I
best?
mean, this is your top 5.
Your top 5, however you want to place
However
it.
you see fit, it doesn't matter.
Right.
This is your opinion.
Y'all want me to go first?
Yeah.
Take
Why
it
not?
away.
I want you to take it away, Justin.
My number 5 is Brandon Allen. I think he was I thought he was really good. I mean, he's been playing in the NFL for several years now as a backup. He started a couple games, but still, I thought he was really good. I think he was real stable when we had been struggling for a little while, and I would say and again, whenever I say that, when I give my top 5, I'm not going to put KJ Jefferson in my top 5 just because
he's not in my 5 either.
He's not. Well, he's not finished yet.
Yeah, I can't. I couldn't do that either because he's not finished playing.
Even if he was finished, I don't know if he'd be in my top 5.
But I think that would be my 5.
Okay, I thought you were going to. I was like, wait a minute, you just named them all?
Well, he looked
okay,
like
my 5, Clint Sterner. And maybe people might be thinking, and I'm a fan of Clint. I'm a fan of that guy. But I just think, of course, I was really young when he was playing. I was a little kid, so my memories of him aren't much. But he was solid. I'm not saying he was a bad quarterback, but for me, he's number 5. We are also a run-heavy team too.
Yeah.
I think my number 5 is also Brandon Allen. There was 2 people I could have put here, but my number 4 made a play that made me bump him up to number 4 and Brandon Allen number 5. Just like you said, I think Brandon Allen caught too much flack for the team that we had. He was how often can we say our best player was a quarterback?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
on the offensive side.
And then his last year we had Alex Collins that helped him out, and that helped the offense out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, our defense would just get torched. So I think he's my number 5.
Who you got in your 4?
Number 4, I'm gonna have to go with Clint Sterner.
Golly, y'all are doing him dirty.
I'm nothing against him. I'm just saying.
It may just be because it's just a different era. Whenever he was playing, I was, real young.
Yeah.
So I don't remember real well, but some of the other guys on the list,
yeah, I can see that,
they just kind of overshadow him.
Yeah.
My number 4 is Brandon Allen. I think that dude I think he had a tough road. He started as a true freshman. The first game was against Bama and Nick Saban, and Bama came in here and just blew the doors off of us. Not to mention, didn't he get his truck burned down?
Yeah, somebody caught his truck on fire.
He took a lot of hits on social media, which you could say is not a big deal, but when you're a kid in that position with all that pressure, because the quarterback in the state of Arkansas, you're a celebrity.
Yeah.
You're probably more popular than the president of the United States. If you gave me a chance to talk to the quarterback of Arkansas or the president, I'm going to talk to the quarterback of Arkansas.
No doubt.
But so all that pressure, all that stuff he dealt with, but his senior year, he was, honestly, if you go back and look at his senior year, that dude was throwing the dang football. He was lights out, really. And that right there, which I was happy that he had that good season because he felt like he deserved it and earned that. And you look at his senior year, the Mississippi State game, they chose to kick a field goal instead of leaving the ball in Brandon Allen's hands, and the field goal gets blocked.
Yeah. If
you leave that ball in the game in Brandon Allen's hands, he wins it. They beat Mississippi State that game because they never stopped. I don't think they stopped him one time. But anyway, I'm a big fan of BA.
Yeah.
And for someone because you can say, he's a backup in the league. Well, hell, that's a big thing to be a back for this many years. He's one game starting in the NFL.
I mean, that's what I'm saying about him. People kind of crap on him, but heck, he's been in the NFL for a while.
Yeah. He made it longer than Tebow did.
Exactly. Never, always been a big fan of that guy. Always will be.
My number 4 is Casey Dick.
Ooh.
That's interesting.
That's my number 6.
I just like how
my number 6.
I like how tough he was. Like, he wasn't like the best athlete, but he didn't mind getting out like on an end around or something. He was blocking for his running backs, and I don't know, talent can put you up. Obviously, 1, 2, and 3 is going to be talent, but I don't know. I just like how he put his body on. And same thing. He wasn't surrounded by the best team, but he didn't give up.
I agree with you. I like Casey Dick for that one. He would go out and put his body on the line. Remember that block he had against LSU where
McFadden scored that touchdown.
Yeah,
And that's the play that put him to forward.
Exactly, because Dick was wide lined up at receiver.
Yeah.
And then once McFadden ran, Casey Dick come back and got the block. But I tell you what, but Casey Dick too was also put in. Here's the thing about Casey Dick. Think about the situation she was put in when that run heavy offense, because McFadden, Felix, and Peyton, you're going to be running the ball the majority of the time anyway.
Yeah.
But a lot of his passes were like 3rd and longs, 3rd and 10, whatever.
Yeah, you had like 2 runs with big losses, and it's like 3rd and 22. It's like, all right, Casey, go out there and pull out some magic for us.
Yeah, so really he was so I was all putting him in a tough spot sometimes. But I'll say this, when Petrino came, his senior year was kind of up and down, but I mean, he had, he did well.
And the thing is, I remember, that they benched him and had Nathan Dick start ahead
his
of
brother.
him. And I remember at the time he was the leading passer in the SEC.
Yeah.
And they benched him.
But I tell you what, it's talking about being happy for Brandon Allen. I was happy for Casey Dick because I was at this game. The very last pass he ever threw was to London Crawford for Miracle on Markham number 2 to beat LSU.
How was it seeing that play, Chris?
I'm not going to lie to you.
You weren't watching, were you?
Me and Dad are in the parking complex. We laughed.
they had given up.
One of the biggest regrets of my life is leaving that. I was in the opposite end zone, so that's what made me feel like, well, at least it wasn't in my end zone I was sitting in.
But yeah, you could have been like, I was there. I saw it.
But an LSU fan was just talking trash to us from a limo. Me and Dad were like, this mother. And then all of a sudden, we hear a big roar in the stadium. And I was like, do you think like something had to have happened?
Yeah.
Next thing we know, a Hog fan rolls up like, guys, we just beat LSU. We just beat LSU. We were like, yeah. And then we were like, oh.
Did you go knock on that window to that limo? Hey, guys.
Suck on this, you Tiger fan. Good memory. All right, what you got?
My number 3, I have to go with Matt Jones.
Interesting.
I just think he brought something different to the table, and the athletic ability of him. Anytime he got out in open field, it was funny. It didn't look like he was moving that fast, but he had that long stride.
Yeah. The dude ran a 4.3,
and he carried that ball out there like a loaf of bread.
Yeah. Played receiver at the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But he was just like a playmaker, and
That's right.
And this is my favorites.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So
it's for my number 3. I've been going back and forth on who should be 3, who should be 2, who should be 3, who should be 2. But for me, my number 3 was Tyler Wilson, and it's very, very difficult because Tyler Wilson was the better quarterback than Matt Jones was. But like you said, Matt Jones is a playmaker. He could take over a game, and freak athletes like him don't come around often. You're lucky to get one player like that on your team.
I ain't gonna lie to you, I forgot about Tyler Wilson.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe he's not going to be in your top 5.
Well, if I could redo it, he would be number 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
For me, Tyler Wilson's number 3. The guy took, he sat behind Mallett, waited his turn. But if you remember his coming out party when Mallett got hurt in that Auburn game, his concussed, he threw a couple picks.
He went toe to toe with the national champions.
Yeah,
Cam Newton.
They were scoring. He was the best backup in the country. He could have started for a lot of teams. Could have started for any other team in the country. He was our backup. But then once he got his time to shine, of course, we had all those great receivers, Greg Childs, Jarius Wright, and all that to throw to. But he did well. And unfortunately for him, his senior year, when he decided to return, but that's when Petrino got fired, and he just, we all know what happened after that. So I always felt bad for him that he did come back to try to take Arkansas to the next level, and he never got that chance to.
Yeah, the thing is, Petrino wouldn't have been on that dang motorcycle.
I don't know, though.
Things would have went a lot. I don't think we would have been as good as people thought we were going to be.
Me neither.
But we've been better than we were.
Right.
Yeah, because you got to look at the way Petrino was at Louisville too. He fizzled out. I think it would have been a good year, way better than what we had, but it would have been a down year. And I would have been curious to see if Petrino stayed, how it would have because recruiting wasn't the best.
Yeah,
how all that would have. But Petrino could develop. I mean, he could develop talent, and people were afraid of him, so they were made sure to play hard for him. But anyway, Tyler Wilson.
I know. I'm afraid of him this year when we play A&M.
Yeah, see, if Jimbo just releases control and lets Bobby Petrino run that full offense, we're gonna be in trouble.
Yeah,
but if he doesn't, for our sake, you better hope that Jimbo Fisher meddles and it causes friction.
Right.
But if Bobby has full control, they're gonna be. I'm telling you, it's gonna be something, in my opinion.
Yeah. Take it away, Philly Pie.
My number 3 is the guy y'all both already said, Clint Sterner. And I think he's higher on me because he's the first quarterback I remember watching. I remember during deer season, not very often you stop running dogs to go watch a football game. We stopped hunting so we could go watch Clint Sterner fumble to Tennessee. But that's the first quarterback I remember that got me into Razorback football, so I think he's just a little bit higher than probably what he should be. But
I will let it be clear that just because Clint Sterner was at my 5 spot, I'm not dogging Clint Sterner. I love Clint Sterner.
It just means there's 4 better than him, huh?
Yeah. Hey, there's people better than me out there.
No.
A lot of people. What do you got, J Bud?
Number 2?
Mm-hmm.
My number 2 is Tyler Wilson. And honestly, the only reason he is number 2 is because of that senior year.
Because he come back. He also took a beating, by the way.
Yeah. because that last year wasn't the greatest. But I mean, he took us to our only 11-win season.
Yeah, I think it was our only, or something like that. Yeah. Only a recent 11-win season we've had probably in the last 30 years.
I can't believe I forgot about him, man.
I mean,
go watch his highlights.
I think about the comebacks we had against A&M with him at the helm, and when he went in the Auburn game, and I mean the dude was good.
Yeah,
and he was tough. I mean he got rocked, especially I remember playing in Alabama and him just getting destroyed. But he'd stay in there and he'd play as hard as he could.
Yeah, I remember seeing him just take lick after lick. He was getting knocked down, and he always just stood right back up. But for me, my number 2 is Matt Jones. And like I said, I struggle between flipping him and Tyler back. Why are you smiling for?
Okay, I just gotta say this. Chris used to create himself.
No.
Bring this in NCAA football back on the PS2. And he would always make his character Matt Jones. He would always make himself look like Matt Jones. He'd be like 6'6". He'd have the long hair.
Hey, I was a huge fan. I was a kid. I was a huge fan of his.
I mean, he worshiped Matt Jones, basically.
Yeah. Well, like I said, when you're in Arkansas and all you have to root for are the Razorbacks, those guys become your heroes.
I'm honestly surprised he's not number 1.
He was, I mean, I had to be realistic. And maybe putting him 2 above Tyler might be too high. But like I said, and there's something else I want to talk about before we move on. But like I said, the dude's a playmaker. Dude ran a 4.3 40. I mean, just this tall, lanky white dude that you'd not think would move that fast, and he just freaking would go. Wasn't the best passer, wasn't the best quarterback, but I'm just talking from a playmaker perspective.
Yeah.
He would take over a game.
He just had that it factor.
If Matt Jones would have still been here, say he was born a few years later, and he was here during the Menzel era or the era of the spread, and I think he would have had a different type of career. I mean, I think it would have been a better career for him, possibly.
I think his skill set's more tailored to this era of football with the spread and mobile quarterbacks, and I think he could have thrived in it.
I think he could. I would have loved to have watched it. And think about, also think about if he was born just a couple years late and then he played with McFadden, Felix, and Peyton Hillis.
Right.
They talk about a deadly-ass run team.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, there probably wouldn't be a team in the country that could stop all that. That would have been fun to watch. And Matt Jones and the spread would have been fun to watch just to see. It would be a ton of runs.
I love listening to him on the radio too.
Yeah, that's the thing is too. Yeah, he's got that radio show. I actually just like the guy.
Yeah,
it's a good listen. What's that show called? Is it the Halftime?
I can't remember.
Is it Phil Eason or Phil Elson?
I don't know. They kind of all run together.
Anyway.
Well, my number 2 is Ryan Mallett.
Interesting.
Like, I know he was the best quarterback that Arkansas has had that any of us can remember. But, I mean, my number 1 is going to be Matt Jones. But I had to put Mallett at 2 and Jones at 1 because Jones, I looked up to him. Ryan Mallett was later on in life, like I was 18, 19 years old.
Matt Jones was your hero.
He kind of really was, man.
I know what you're talking about. I know he knows.
Yeah. Dude, I loved watching him play, but Mallett was he was all, I mean, I went and watched the Sugar Bowl with him, and
I remember seeing you looking sad.
Philly Pie was on national television for a brief moment.
Yeah. Well, that was in the first half when we were getting murderized by Ohio State. But, like, remember, and I had really good seats. I was right there, end zone, first level. And when they were down there, you could hear his balls, like, going through the air. Yeah, I mean, you could hear that whistle. I mean, that's Terrell Pryor didn't play because he had that.
No, Terrell Pryor did play.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, all those guys are supposed to be suspended. Played,
yeah.
But they didn't have that. And Terrell Pryor, did he win the Heisman or come in second that year?
I can't even remember if he won the Heisman or not. I don't. Hey, did Terrell Pryor win the Heisman?
What year?
Sugar Bowl year they beat Arkansas, or any year. Cam Newton? Yeah.
Only 2 games we lost that year was to Alabama and Auburn.
Yeah.
That's right.
But Terrell Pryor, he didn't have that zip on it like Mallett did. I remember that first pass in that game. He bombed it to Joe Adams. And if he would have caught that ball, if he would have held on to it, we would have beat Ohio State. Because that would have, I mean, it was the first play of the game other than kickoff.
Yeah.
And he dropped it in stride. I mean,
yeah, that was sad.
Yeah. I think it was him. It might have been Jerry's right, but I think it was Joe Adams.
We should have that play and then the scoop and score.
Oh,
I kind of don't blame.
gosh.
I don't blame Julian Horton for diving on that ball. I think it was Julian Horton because in the moment, I think he was a freshman. He was really young too. In the moment, you just want to recover that ball, but damn it,
Yeah.
if he just could have picked it up,
I don't
and
blame
ran
him
it
either
in.
because you got Ryan Mallett who's about to take over for you. You know he's putting it in the end zone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Ohio State dropped back.
I think it was
Cam Hayward.
Yeah, Cam Hayward picked him off from the
Yeah,
line
he
of
dropped
scrimmage.
DN. That was on the end zone we were at. I mean, I could hear them talking to each other. That's how close we were.
Dang.
And I saw him dropping, and I was like, no. But yeah, Mallett at number 2, just NFL talent that if he would have had his head on straight, that being that young, I think he could have done something, especially sitting behind Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, and he was just
just need a little more maturity.
yeah.
Happens to us all.
And in fact, I actually played basketball against Ryan Mallett up at Fayetteville one time. One of the trips that me and my buddy went on.
Did he just play basketball with your buddy and just not even pay attention to you? He's like, why is your nails painted, Philip?
I was over there. I buttered Ryan Mallett up, and then he got to play with him.
Philip greased the wheels.
Yeah, we played, and he was an athlete at that too. It was him and Ben Cleveland were on the court, and Ryan Mallett, he was standing almost at half court shooting threes. I mean, he wasn't making all of them, but he's hitting way more than anybody else was. I mean, out of 10, he was probably making 3, and that was half court.
Well, Mallett's at my number 1.
Okay.
And the one Razorback game that I went to was the first one where he started for us.
Yeah, well, I
Remember
forget
that?
we went to that. That was a fun game.
And talk about the opening kickoff. It was the first game of the season, opening kickoff. What was it? Dennis Johnson took the kickoff back for a touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, that place was
We were
rocking.
freaking. I'll never forget the
It was
energy that I felt and the adrenaline that gave everybody. It was awesome.
because we were sitting like in the end zone where he received it, and we saw him. I remember just seeing the hole and him like going through. We're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
go,
Yeah.
Those moments, there's nothing like that. But
But I mean, he took us to our only BCS bowl, and I mean, he was just.
that we should have won, in my opinion.
I mean, I think he just had unbelievable physical ability. I mean, he was just.
It doesn't hurt to have Jarius Wright and Joe Adams and
Yeah, that helps too. I mean, he had good players around him.
who's the other one? Greg Childs.
Yeah.
Ray Childs, Jarius Wright, Joe Adams.
'Cause I remember the
Kobe
play.
Hamilton.
What was our tight end?
Was it Ben Cleveland?
No, well he was
Oh,
the second one.
DJ Williams.
DJ Williams. Yeah.
I remember the play against Georgia where we beat him, where he threw to Childs right there at the end of the game. We won the game.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Oh yeah,
And
the
guy
Childs,
hit-
please play.
Yeah, Childs, please.
Dude, my memory of Ryan Mallett. Ryan Mallett's my number one as well.
Ah, I thought it was gonna be Mitch Mustang.
Mitch Mustang. Oh, that's a whole nother topic right there. Not that I have anything against Mitch Mustang, by the way.
Anyway, go ahead.
But my memory of you gotta think about like just as far as, and that's not just because he passed away, he'd be my number one regardless. You gotta think about this. Arkansas has been a run heavy team for years with Nutt. Petrino comes in, has the year with Dick. You know, we start throwing the ball around, but you know you got Mallett back there, and we're fixing to sling the ball. When we went to watch the Missouri State game, and Arkansas, you know, they're not going to give out all their offensive plays, but they know they handled it, took care of business,
Yeah.
beat them. That next game against Georgia in Fayetteville, Arkansas still lost the game.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Mallett come out, and they were throwing the ball all over the place. We, as Arkansas fans, hadn't seen that before.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I remember being shocked and being like, this is the type of football that I want to watch.
And like I remember the Alabama game with the Ronnie Wingo
Wheel route. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I wish we would have won that game.
Golly.
That one hurts. But yeah, like just the arm strength, the arm talent, I mean, that dude could just barely throw it and just probably zip it 60 yards like nothing. But for me, he's number one.
There's one funny thing that I think about whenever I think about Ryan Mallett is Ryan, our brother Ryan. What do I always say? That he looked like an alien. Whatever
He
it shows-
does,
whatever
though.
it
He
shows.
does.
His picture on the bottom of the screen. It's like Ryan Mallett. It looks like an alien.
Oh.
And I already said my number one was Matt Jones. Just, I don't know.
I'm not arguing with him, and that's your opinion. I mean, he's my number two. I love Matt Jones.
I'm not saying that Matt Jones is better than Ryan Mallett because Ryan Mallett's way better than Matt Jones. It's
Well,
just,
he's the better quarterback. You could say Matt Jones is the better athlete. Both of those are true.
yeah, true. And Matt Jones he had that swag to him.
I remember the Miracle on Markham game. I remember
Yeah.
watching that game and thinking, golly. What, he completed 4 passes the whole game?
4 passes, and the last 2 are at the very end of the
Yeah.
game.
Yep.
But
And then-
that's top.
Isn't that the year we played Georgia in the SEC championship and we got destroyed?
Yeah, because LSU couldn't go because of some technicality, I think. And then they let us in there. I remember me and you watching it. I was asking Dad, I'm like, do you think we got a chance? Dad was like, don't get your hopes up. And then Georgia freaking curb stomped us. But real quick, what do you feel about this season? This next Razorback season?
I think we're probably an 8 or 9 win team.
I think best case scenario will be 9 wins, and that might be the 9th win might also be coming from a bowl game.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know how good a receiving core is going to be. And we got the new offensive coordinator with Dan Enos, which I'm glad because I didn't like Kendall Brow's play calling at all.
No.
I hated it. I hated watching us go from the freaking nickel and diming it down the sideline.
Yeah.
But
My hope is, Enos was our offensive coordinator when we had Brandon Allen, and we saw how he progressed.
Right.
So I'm hoping maybe he'll add like another dimension to KJ's game.
I think he will. I think it'll be beneficial, and we'll throwing the ball over the middle again. I'm gonna love seeing that. We got the running backs. The thing is the depth on our defensive side in the secondary.
Terrible.
Like last year
Yeah.
was pretty bad.
Who's that corner we got who was a receiver? and he transitioned to cornerback because all the injuries.
I can't even remember the name now. I know who you're talking about, but I can't think of the name.
I'll be honest with you, and I try to be an optimist. I don't think we're making a bowl this year.
You don't think we're making a bowl game?
No.
What's our schedule for next year?
We'll get up really quick.
You know about I mean, it's just
That's kind of surprising. I think we're going to win all the non-conference.
yeah. Every year, I think that some Troy beats us.
Well, we did lose to Liberty last year,
Yeah,
which was bizarre.
we should win every non-conference.
I think if KJ stays healthy, having a decent backup in Jacoby Criswell and those other guys who you assume are going to be decent backups, I'm not as worried if KJ goes down as I was last year with Malik Hornsby at the helm.
Yeah, where did he transfer to? Liberty?
Was it Texas San Antonio?
I can't remember.
I might be wrong about that.
Okay.
All right, give us teams and we'll tell you if it's a win or a loss.
WCU. I don't know who that
Is
is.
it Western Carolina? I don't know. We'll beat them.
Yeah.
I hope.
If I don't know who they are,
Yeah.
we'll probably
Okay,
beat
so
them.
that's one win. Kent State.
We'll beat Kent State.
You don't think we'll beat Kent State?
I'll give it to Arkansas.
But Kent State's going to come in a favorable and upset.
BYU. I think we'll beat BYU.
I think we will. I mean, I think that one's going to be the most tricky.
Where's that one going to be?
At Fayetteville.
Yeah, because we played there last year.
Did that quarterback get drafted, or is he still there?
I don't
I
know.
don't remember. I'm not a huge BYU fan.
They're not. They don't.
They got the power of.
They're not going to have the
They
athletes.
got the power of Christ on their team. I'm giving it to BYU.
Dang.
Really?
Yeah,
LSU.
we're gonna get murderized so hard.
We're gonna lose.
I don't think we're going to beat LSU either.
A&M. We're gonna lose. Bobby
Yeah.
Petrino is gonna.
Yeah, we're gonna lose to
Demolish.
A&M.
I want that game so. I want them all.
Well,
but
we've only beat them once since they've came in.
yeah, I think so.
All I know is
I can't remember.
we had our secondary was horrible last year. They can't be that improved, and Bobby Petrino is just going to pick them apart.
Right.
I mean, we brought transfers in, but who knows?
All right, Ole Miss.
Ooh, that would be a good one.
I think we'll beat.
I think we'll beat.
That's
Ole
going to be
Miss.
at Ole Miss. I'll give it to Ole Miss.
They're going to have our number, but I think we're going to go in there and beat them. KJ's final game probably in his home state.
2 years ago, we took them into overtime at Ole Miss.
Yeah. Then we skunked them this year, but
I'm giving it to Ole Miss. I mean,
All right, Bama.
no. I would love
A
to
win,
beat
a W.
no.
Mississippi State. I think we'll beat Mississippi State.
Where's that one at?
Arkansas.
I'll give it to us then. I really don't know much about Mississippi State this year.
Florida.
That's going to be at Gainesville too.
Yeah, is that Florida?
I want to because Arkansas's never won at Florida. I want to beat those mother effers so bad. Think about it.
I'm going to give it to Arkansas. Their programs, all of their program, except for baseball this year, has been going downhill.
I want revenge from that game from Ryan Mallett's year where Florida was number one.
Oh, yeah.
And we got
We
screwed
had
in
the
that
rest,
game.
yeah.
Yeah, we got screwed over.
Bad. I'll give us the win on that one.
I'm going to give us a win there, too. Auburn. I'm going to say that's a win.
That's what we try. I got a weird feeling Hugh Freeze might blow up down there. They might be really good.
I'm giving us an L on that one, too. And I'm trying to be positive.
FIU. Florida International.
Oh, win that one.
Missouri.
I think we'll beat Missouri this year.
I think we'll beat. Is that Arkansas? I think we'll beat them. So that's 9. I think we'll get 9.
What was yours?
I'm trying to decide on Missouri.
I wasn't even counting the wins when I was done. I think Missouri. I don't think Pittman's going to allow us to lose to Missouri this year.
Man, same thing with them and A&M. We've only beaten Missouri. I don't know if we've beaten them twice.
I honestly think we might get A&M, regardless of the Petrino effect.
So far, I've been
I
giving
don't-
most of the time. All right, I'll say we go 6-6. So okay, we'll have a bowl game.
Well, we win the bowl game.
We're going to be at the Liberty Bowl again, playing the WFU University.
Yeah, we'll win the bowl game.
I think we'll lose.
What the heck?
We'll lose the bowl game this year. I can just feel it. If we stay healthy, I mean, it's just so freaking tough when you play in the toughest conference in college football and the toughest division.
Yeah.
That's why I think we'll win the bowl game, because we'll be tested.
Well, real quick, before we end this, unless there's something we want to keep on jawing about, did you see where Arkansas is going to be playing Duke in basketball at Bud Walton?
Yeah, I saw that.
Is that not freaking exciting?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest game there of all time. Assuming that we're both good. I know Duke will be preseason number 1 for sure. But who knows where we'll be.
I bet we'll be up there.
But we got talent. I mean, here's the thing is, we just haven't been able to have, just didn't have any scores the past few years or weren't able to score the ball. But
Is Brazil coming back?
yeah, he's back. And all those transfers. Basically a whole new squad. Brazil, Devo, that Joseph Pinion. There's somebody else that come back too. I can't remember.
Not worth remembering.
Then a whole new cast of characters,
Yeah.
which is the way it'll be out from here on out. But I actually think we'll be good and solid. I hope. Never count out Musselman.
Yeah.
As long as he's at Arkansas, we're in good hands. Arkansas better enjoy him while he's here. Enjoy him while he's here. Was there anything else we want to discuss? Anything else?
Nothing I can think of.
Are we good to go? Are you good? You got a final message for the people?
I think Captain D said all he has to say.
Oh, hell, Captain D. J-Bug, what you got?
I really ain't got nothing. Stay out of this heat.
Tell me something positive, Chris.
Tell me something positive.
Tell me something to live my day by tomorrow.
Live your day by tomorrow. Wake up as soon as your feet hit the floor. Thank God that you're breathing.
Every day.
Take a look over at your wife, give her a kiss. Thank God for her, and thank God for your situation, because people could always have it a lot worse out there.
Lean over the other way, give Chris a kiss.
Yeah, lean over on this side of the bed, give me a kiss, and then we'll have an awkward conversation of why I've ended up here. And yeah, be appreciative of what you have. People always got it way worse than you. Be blessed, and always put out good energies to people. Always be positive, because what you do is a ripple effect. Everything you do in life touches somebody else in a positive or a negative way. Mm-hmm. So always remember that. So just put out good vibes. As always, reach out to us at the Heavyset Podcast at gmail.com if you want to email us, or join the Heavyset Facebook group, the Heavyset Podcast Facebook group, or J-Bug Philly Pie. If you want to reach out to us at the YouTube channel of the Heavyset, go on down there, like and subscribe.
Before we go,
Yeah.
I wrote down a couple of things on my phone that I wanted to go with. Listening to y'all's old.
Okay, go ahead.
Last episode, y'all were talking about 1989.
Don't
Y'all was
tell
talking about
Ryan,
video
man, he'll
games.
get around.
Don't crap on 1989.
No, I'm not going to. I mean, it might not even have anything to do with 89, but y'all talking about video games and stuff. And I just remember when you and Ryan lived together, watching you two play games. Do you remember Battletoads?
Yeah. How could I forget Battletoads?
yeah.
I just remember y'all two so stressed out by one level. I mean, y'all
The
couldn't
turbo
live.
tunnel?
Yeah, that's what it was. And I think
So stressed out about it, I know it by name.
I think that's actually one of the hardest levels in video games ever. I think I remember seeing that on Watch
yeah.
Mojo or something.
People couldn't beat it. So they just there's a third level. They would get there and just had no idea what happened in the rest of the game.
Yeah. That, and then either the episode before that, I can't remember which one y'all was talking about. It was the one where your boy was on. Y'all was talking about best fast food restaurants.
Yeah.
Burger King's my number one. It disappointed me that you put them so low.
I honestly, listening back to that, they should have been a little bit higher. They should have been above Sonic.
Yes.
He was disgusted.
Because I was listening to that whole episode and I was like, man, Chris is hitting everything. I agree with everything he said. Then he said Burger King was 4, and I flipped my table. And
He sent me an angry text message.
but my favorite fast food burger from anywhere, they don't make it no more. But last year when they made that ghost pepper burger, oh my god, I
That was
loved
your
that
favorite
thing.
fast food
I
burger
loved
ever?
it.
The thing is, I never got it, and it sounded right up my alley. And by the time I finally went to a Burger King, they weren't carrying it anymore.
After they stopped carrying it, I went to the Burger King where I work, and I kept asking, like, hey, do y'all still have any of that sauce left? And I'd give them the ingredients, how to make it again. They kept doing it until they ran out. I was like, man.
You should definitely be a member of the Heavyset Podcast. I just did not like that burger at all. I mean, it was okay, but as my favorite,
yes,
I like the Rodeo King burger from Burger King. Was always my favorite.
That's all I had to say. I just, when I heard you say that, I was like, I got on my notes immediately.
He was enraged. Started writing a letter, pulling out his feather pen. Yeah.
We actually have a
Dear
mailbag
Heavyset
you sent
bros.
us, but I guess we can save it for another day.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
But all right, love you, brother. Love you, buddy. Love you, buddy. Love you guys. Any final words?
Love you guys.
All right,
Love everybody.
love you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.